world today. It's total cynicism of the way it's done. Now, it's kind of funny. Some of the people on the left in politics kind of dismiss what people like me say about a conspiracy, and they say there is no conspiracy to create an Orwellian state. It's rubbish, you're mad, you're stupid, all the rest of it. And the next thing they do is they pick up a banner and they say, stop globalization, stop globalization. What do they think globalization is? Globalization is the centralization of global power in every area of our lives. It is the agenda I'm talking about unfolding before our eyes. These different protests need to just come together and realize they're protesting against the same force and the same agenda. And it's an agenda for the centralization of power in every area of our lives. The World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, all these things are just pawns and creations of these bloodlines to control from the center, to create a situation where no one has independence of maneuver in their own sphere of influence or community. It's about cross-matching dependency, so this can't operate without dependency on that, and that can't operate without dependency on that. Dependence. Dependence equals control. Independence equals choice equals freedom. That's why they want to take independence away. That's what globalization is. That's why they move jobs from one country into another country and move other jobs over here, and they move this over there. It's making everyone dependent on everyone else. Free trade, love it. Wouldn't it be great if we had free trade? Free trade, freedom to exploit trade, that's what it should be called. It allows transnational corporations to make things in sweatshops in one part of the world, in horrendous conditions, on horrendous wages, and then ship them across. No border taxes increasingly because it's globalization and it's free trade, and then they sell them to people with the money, and they make on both ends of the deal. That's what free trade is. We don't have capitalism. Anti-capitalist. I'm not anti-capitalist. We don't have capitalism. We have cartelism. That's what we have. And then you hear, to a certain extent, the anti-globalization movement. It's just, no, there's no conspiracy, it's just big, bad, greedy corporations. Yeah, controlled by the same people. The corporations are not the origin of globalization, they are the vehicle for it. And it's all leading outside of the holographic reality to this. Homeland security, military dictatorship. This is Hitler proposing the creation of the Gestapo in Germany. An evil exists that threatens every man, woman and child of this great nation. We must take steps to ensure our domestic security and protect our homeland. I heard that somewhere before, more recently, didn't I? I think so. So, more cameras. And these cameras are not for surveillance of the general population. That's not what they're really going in there for. General population, working through the left brain, hey honey, you know, Paris Hilton's on, all that stuff, they're no problem. No problem at all. This is for people who are waking up. So, this is in London. This was after the bombings in London. They produced this poster for the London transport, secure beneath watchful eyes. In other words, surveillance, surveillance. We're protecting you from the terrorists. And this is from Germany in the 1930s. Same bloody poster in effect, and the same motivation. And I got sent this one, stands back in amazement. This is Sheffield Bus Station, right? Sheffield Bus Station in England. Spit and run, you'll still get caught. Every bus, tram and interchange has DNA testing kits. Spit at the staff and you can be traced and prosecuted, even if we don't know what you look like, and your records will be in the National DNA Database forever. What? I'm dreaming I'm going to wake up. Every bus, tram and interchange has DNA testing kits. They're now getting people who get the rubbish to look through it, to see what you're doing with your rubbish. And then now we've had traffic wardens turned into civil enforcement officers. I don't know if I told you this, but I will. I got sent a letter by a traffic warden a few months ago now, actually a few weeks ago, but it happened to him a few months ago. And he's a traffic warden. He's been traffic warden for a long time in England. And one day in the last few months, he was called in by his boss, and he was giving out 3 new cards. And one of the cards was giving him authority to be a traffic warden, fair enough. The second card was what they call the PACE card. This is the words that a police officer has to say to, when he arrests someone. You don't have to say anything, but if you don't say all that stuff. And the other card was the right for this traffic warden to enter property. And so this is a nice guy. He said to the boss, "What are you doing? What's all this? I don't want these. What's this? Not a job? A traffic warden, I take tickets." And he was told, just take them home, put them away, and until further notice. A few days later, an old friend of his who's a policeman is walking out the police station with his briefcase, and there's a few traffic wardens together, and he came over and he chatted away. And then as he was leaving, the policeman called his mate over, the traffic warden who wrote to me, and he said, look, he said, about 3 or 4 times he said this in the conversation, don't tell anybody, but you're my mate, I want to tell you this. He said, I've been working in this county, and there's someone like me in every other county, and we are preparing for a war that's coming. And they're expecting great civil unrest when this war happens, and the military and we, the police, will be at the front line of dealing with the unrest, and people like you, traffic wardens, CCTV camera operators, private security firms, will be brought in to do the jobs that police are doing. And it was a few weeks later that I picked up the paper and I saw that traffic wardens were being redesignated from traffic warden, just traffic, to civil enforcement officers. This stuff is building so fast. And now they want us to tell on each other. Report your friends and suspicious behaviour. Hey, I've got a mate, he went to that David Icke bloody website. Yeah. And what they're doing is they're offering money for people to do it. That must be worth £5. There you go. How to tell if there's a terrorist in the airport. There you go. No problem. Piece of cake. So now we're having surveillance on the internet, shut up, all this stuff, free speech zones, I love that, how Orwellian. And what it's about, oh God, I could talk all night, oh God, the time. What it's about is basically turning humanity into the same situation that you have with laboratory rats and mice, where you have them in a maze, and when you go down certain channels of the maze, they get a shock. When they've been shocked a few times, you can take the electrical equipment out, and that mouse or rat still won't go down that, because he's been manipulated and programmed not to go down there through resistance. And all the time now, we're being told, don't do this, can't do that. Oh, your rubbish is 4 inches too high in your rubbish bin. You go to court. Oh, you've dropped an apple core. Call the police. All this stuff. And I'm not exaggerating. These things are happening. And it's all about bang, 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 bang. All these things. And it's about programming the laboratory rat, as they see it, into conforming through not wanting to meet the resistance, into acquiescing to this agenda. Sod that. And the taser gun is classic. Of course, when they said, oh, the taser's only going to be given to trained fire officers, I thought, yeah, here you go, pull it, here you go. Then this one. And of course what they're doing now is the same, they're going to give them to all police. Of course they are, they were always going to totalitarian tiptoe. And what these are are to put the police in a different state. All these stories about people dying when they're hit by these things, people say, oh, that's bad for the taser. No, it's not. It's good for the taser. Because once you... Globalization is the centralization of global power in every area of our lives. It is the agenda I'm talking about unfolding before our eyes. There is no conspiracy to create an Orwellian state. It's rubbish. You're mad. You're stupid. All the rest of it. And the next thing they do is they pick up a banner and they say, stop globalization, stop globalization. What do they think globalization is? Area of our lives. The World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, all these things are just pawns and creations of these bloodlines to control from the center, to create a situation where no... These different protests need to just come together and realize they're protesting against the same force and the same agenda. And it's an agenda for the centralization of power in every area of the world today. It's total cynicism of the way it's done. Now, it's kind of funny. Some of the people on the left in politics kind of dismiss what people like me say about a conspiracy, and they say